Hello guys, my name's Liam Edwards. I'm going to be showing you the canister filter I use for my 220 gallon. I find this is the best canister filter I've ever bought. It's made by Aquatics and it's really useful for my 220 gallon. Alright, I'm going to show you step by step what I used in my canister filter. Okay, I used the first one is the ceramic media. I like this because it all helps nice bacteria for me fish, and it's quite good and collects a lot of dirt as well. I also use a foam pad, a quite wide one, so it doesn't clog up as much. You can order these and buy them, and I put that to also collect the waste. That's my first one that will be going in, so I'll place that in. And one thing guys I'm always going to tell you is just see these rubber tubes I have. Always make sure you put your rubbers back in the canister filters in the correct places. As you can see, I'll pull it out and show you. I'll pull it back over the tubing so it's perfect, so it gets a more powerful suction. My second tray, what I use, is exactly the same as the last one, except I'm using ceramic media. Not the very best types of medias, but very cheap and very easy if you can't afford the dear ones. Then I put also another filter pad on top of that, a heavy duty one, so the dirt can collect in. As you can see, very hard to clean, not very hard to clean out, but you clean it mostly out. And that is my second tray I use in my canister filter. I also make sure I put the rubbers back on, as you can see, for a powerful suction. In my third tray that I use in my canister filter is more media, ceramic media, so I'm keeping a nice healthy bacteria inside my tank for my fish. And then I have a carbon sponge pad for collecting also bacteria and collecting waste to stop it reflowing through the tank. I put that back in, and that is my third tray. I also make sure that they sit on top of the rubbers properly, so when it's doing the suction it's very good. So I'm going to retake them out and check the third to make sure I've sat it on properly for my suction. I want to re-put that one back in, lining them up so they're perfect. And I'm also going to adapt another rubber onto the top. I really like this canister filter because it's good. You can even order the stuff for it, and it's good. And now for my fourth tray. The good thing about this canister filter is it has 4 trays. I have my carbon inside, which is a big bag that comes in a bag that you can buy. Not quite cheap, but it is cheap for the price. A bag like this costs you $12.99, and it's also good because it helps collect the nitrates and stuff like that. Then I also have a polishing pad for when it re-enters my tank, that polishes up the water as flowing through. That also goes on. That is my fourth tray on top of my canister filter, and it is good for my 220 gallon tank. I also have a guard net over the top, which is also very good by Aqua to make, so it's easier and stops bits coming through as well on the pump to protect me with fan. Now this is the top of my canister filter. Sorry it's gone a bit dark, I'm doing it in the kitchen before the missus gets home and she tells me off. As you can see, the pump is well cleaned out. Always make sure that they are properly cleaned out, and you want to line up the circle on your filtration thing on line with the other circles. And when you know it is clamp the wire. When you know it's spot on, it will happily sit on top of the pump, sit nice and flat, and as you push it down, the pressures will do. Always make sure your 4 clips on top of your canister filter are properly sealed, or you may tend to have leaks coming out of it, which will leak out your canister filter and will also drain the water in your tank. So always make sure these clamps are fully pushed down and correctly, so it's all smooth, no jagged or nothing. And the other thing I like about this canister filter, it has a self primer, so it's none of all this sucking up, pumping, hand pumping to get your waters to flow through, which also causes like bits that have been left inside your canister filter to outflow back in the water. Even though it gets sucked back up, it's also useful. Now I'm going to show you how to attach it to my 220 gallon tank. Okay, you have to excuse the camera because I'm doing this by myself. As you can see, this is the underneath of my 220 gallon tank. You can actually see how big it is, and there is the tank on top, which I love. This tank. It was a present for me, and I can't deny I'm made up with it. Now I'm going to show you also how to attach it and unplug it. So when you are doing this, okay, it's going to be quite dark, so I'm going to do it. Well, first I get the pumps which go in here. As you can see, it's going to be quite difficult to film, and what I do, I clip them. Sorry guys, it's going to be a bit dark. As you can see, I clip it back into the canister filter, and there's a locking system on it. Once I can get it past the pipes, there's like a little orange locking system on top of it, which you make sure is properly locked when pushing down. Give a tug on it to make sure it's properly sealed, so you know your canister filter is working properly. Then, once I've checked all my pipes are properly sealed inside my canister filter, I will plug it back in, double checking none of the things are wet on the plug from after cleaning out. I'll plug it back in. I don't know if you can see that, but I will step back and show you. I'll plug it back into my homemade sockets into the side of the tank, so it is much easier for me to plug in instead of having wires everywhere, a much cleaner job. Then what I do, I switch the pump back on. As you can see, it's come back on, the fan's rolling, but there's no water in. So the first thing I do, I press the button on the top to prime my waters. As you can see, yeah, it's leaving bits of dirt in the water, but as you will see, as it's priming, it's cleaning out the tank. And what I would normally do is put a net over that as it's flowing out the crap. But as I'm teaching you and showing you about my canister filter, I don't mind. As you can see, the water in my tank is starting to drain without me having to use my energy by pumping and pushing, pumping and pushing in my water. And that's why I like this canister filter by Aqua. Alright guys, I'm going to leave the video from there and say thank you very much for watching. Please hit that like button and subscribe for my favourite videos that will be coming out in the future. So thank you very much guys, and goodbye.